Just when you thought things couldn't get better after Dana White's announcements, we have more fights. That's right, Cory the Sandman Sandhagen's back. And unfortunately, he's not fighting Sean O'Malley. He's fighting Deiveson Figueiredo in Iowa, of all places. That's a first. I mean, I'm sure the UFC went to Iowa way back in the day for UFC 11 or whatever, but it's the last place I would expect there to be a UFC event, to be honest. I can't believe they even have a stadium there, honestly. There's probably someone from Iowa watching this, and they're like, dude, come on, bro. We got towns. It's kind of out of nowhere. All right? Sandhagen's being sent to Iowa to fight Deiveson Figueiredo. And we have, Benoit St. Denis is now stepping in for Michael Chandler to fight Paddy Pimblett. We finally are back. I'm just playing. He's fighting Joel Alvarez, who is the complete opposite of Benoit. Benoit still kind of fights like he's in the 90s. Marauder maxing. And Joel Alvarez is surgical, technical, by the book, doesn't make any mistakes, good on the ground, picks people apart on the feet. It's over for Benoit St. Denis. This is one of the toughest matchups ever. This is a nightmare matchup. Listen, the Moicano matchup, I actually like that fight for him. I mean, of course, he got his ass kicked. But this matchup, it's I'm sorry, he's going to get destroyed. That's going to be 3 brutal losses in a row. The only way he wins is by, again, going out there and landing a big gnarly body kick and he's just going to go out there and fucking maraud on Joel Alvarez. But I don't know, man. Benoit St. Denis, he is going to leave as soon as he came into the sport, to be honest, if they keep matching him up like this. So I'm going to talk about that fight. I'm going to talk about the Sandhagen matchup, but I'm going to get to the Sandhagen matchup first. It's becoming clear that the UFC views Cory Sandhagen as a liability to Sean O'Malley. And what I mean by that is the hardcore fans of the sport have been wanting this matchup for a long time. It's a mirror matchup. Sandhagen thinks he's all that. O'Malley thinks he's all that. They've been, kind of shit-talking each other for years. They've been on a collision course for years, yet we still haven't seen the fucking fight. We're never going to see it, I'm telling you. But the point is, we recognize Sandhagen as he's one of the guys at bantamweight. He's like Yan. He's like Figueiredo. He's one of the guys, one of the big names. The UFC views Sandhagen as like a Basharat. They view Sandhagen as a Pedro Munoz, right? A Ricky Simone. They want O'Malley to fight, the Chandlers. They want O'Malley to fight the CM Punks. They want O'Malley to fight the big names, the big names. We got to get O'Malley in there. We got to bring in all the casuals. And so for that reason, they're never going to make the Sandhagen fight. Even though, again, it's okay, O'Malley fights Yan. Is Yan going to bring in the casuals? I don't think a single... What is a casual, by the way? Somebody that doesn't watch the UFC, that's basically who the UFC wants to watch O'Malley fights. They want, they use O'Malley as someone to bring in people that have never watched UFC fight. They expect, people to watch a commercial and hear, the Sugar Show, and have O'Malley do this at a press conference, and that's going to, bring in a million new people. But either way... Not a single real casual MMA fan, someone that knows Nate Diaz and Conor only, those type of fighters. None of those people know who Yan is either. But that's what the reasoning is for not doing the Sandhagen fight. I guarantee it. Listen, I'm not going to complain about a Peter Yan and Sean O'Malley rematch, especially if it's 5 rounds, because just stylistically, forget about the storyline. I mean, the storyline's amazing, but stylistically, it's always going to be an amazing fight. It would be even better than O'Malley versus Sandhagen. Stylistically, it'd be even better. But it's one of those things where there's also a possibility, because we know we're not going to get the Sandhagen matchup, and that was one of the 3 options. If it's not Yan next, there's a chance we live in a world where we might see Sean O'Malley go right back into a title fight with Merab Dvalishvili. And that would have 0 hype. I would be more hyped up to see Sean O'Malley fight Basharat than I would to see him fight Merab Dvalishvili next. And that's just because of how dog shit the first fight was. It's not because O'Malley didn't do well at all. He won a couple of rounds. I would love to see him fight Merab in general. Don't get me in general, but not one fight removed from having a really boring fight. The fight itself was just terrible. It was boring. It was nothing to write home about. Merab's fight against Henry Cejudo was better. Merab's fight against Umar Nurmagomedov was better. Like, I want to see O'Malley fight for a belt in the future. I recognize the value of him being a champion. Merab's the GOAT, a bantamweight, but, I'm kind of ready to see some more KOs and title fights. And O'Malley's the guy to do it, but you can't have him go back into a title fight right now. The UFC needs to actually have integrity when it comes to Sean O'Malley because, let's be honest, I could see him actually freaking doing it. All right. And also, they kind of rushed O'Malley to the title to begin with. He fought Munoz, and that wasn't really a real fight. There was a no contest via eye poke. And then he fought Yan, and there was a robbery. And then he was right in there knocking out Aljo. Right? And they were rushing Aljo, too. They were rushing him. We know O'Malley's good, but we need to see him earn his keep a little bit. We need to see him kind of like, prove himself in a number one contenders fight. So listen, I'm not upset because it's not O'Malley versus Sandhagen, although that's disappointing. But I will be really pissed if they don't at least make O'Malley fight somebody before they give him another title fight. Even Yan at this point, like, I don't even want to see Yan fight for the belt next. Like, I want to see both of these guys, Yan and O'Malley, fight one more time before they fight Merab. Let's give Merab a break. Let's give him a break. I know he's one of these built different guys that can recover in a week. He's sort of like Joel Romero. He's one of these guys, he goes in a war and he's ready to go the next day. But let's hold off on Merab. Let's bring him back in the fall, end of the summer. But let's do O'Malley and Peter Yan as like a co-main event of a pay-per-view or something like that. Co-main event. That'd be awesome. Or fuck it, put it on International Fight Week. 5 rounds. That'd be great. As far as the actual matchup goes with Sandhagen and Deiveson Figueiredo, I think Sandhagen is going to win a 48-47 Arnold Allen Holloway Sandhagen Cheeto type of, pace. And what I mean is it's not going to be a barn burner. It's not going to be hectic. It's going to be one of those, it's an okay fight. It's high level, but it's nothing to write home about. I think Sandhagen's going to have the output. I think he's going to go in there trying to be a little bit more violent after the last switch stance performance where he was basically just switching stances and feinting the whole time. I think he's going to throw a little bit more output, and I think he's durable enough not to get finished. Sandhagen has always had a granite chin. And Figgy, listen, Figgy's crafty. He's good. I look at him like a much improved Cheeto Vera. Like, they're both kind of low output, but Figueiredo, he can deliver the power a little bit better. He's more skilled on the ground. He's more well-rounded. He's got the lighter man skill, right? He's got tricks up his sleeve. He's a tricky customer as well. But I also just think that I think the low, I just don't, in order for me to pick Figueiredo, I have to see him at least drop Sandhagen a few times. And I feel like Sandhagen isn't going to get dropped, so therefore he's going to win. And he's not going to get finished. So 48-47 for Sandhagen. I'm going to pick him to get this one done. But let's get on to Benoit St. Denis and Joel Alvarez. France versus Spain. Listen, man, I once saw Benoit St. Denis as a for certain guy that was going to be challenging for a title. Like, I was 100% sure that this guy was going to be fighting Islam Makhachev. He gets knocked out by Poirier. I was convinced, all right, well, that's Poirier. He still did really well. He had staff. He gassed out. If he doesn't have staff and he doesn't gas out, he should just continue to dominate. He'll pick up right where he left off against Poirier, and then he gets like 10-8'd in the first round against Renato Moicano. And Moicano's good, but, you know, Poirier, you get knocked out by him, and then you get crushed by Moicano. Now we're going down in level. I didn't even look at the Moicano fight as like it's a bad matchup, but now after seeing Benoit get finished, and to be honest, the thing about Benoit was his grappling. Even though we could say, all right, his striking needs some work, especially his defense, but at least he has the grappling. Then we see him get destroyed in the grappling. Now what does he have? Again, he's one of these marauders. He fights like he's from the 90s. Dude, it must have been it was the aura, man. He was aura farming. Because, okay, he knocked out Frivola. Let's be honest, though. The Ismael Bonfim win, that was pretty freaking good. That was pretty good. He beat up Bonfim on the feet, then submitted him. But again, Joel Alvarez, he's the opposite of Benoit St. Denis. He's a surgeon on the feet, very clean. rangy, good in the clinch as well. He's not going to get bullied in the clinch. And the guy also has a nasty submission game. Sure, he was beaten up by Arman Tsarukyan, but Benoit St. Denis doesn't have the wrestling of Arman Tsarukyan. He's got good ground game, but he doesn't have the same ground and pound. So, yeah, we're going to see Benoit St. Denis on a 3-fight slide, which is crazy because, as I said, he's going to leave the UFC as fast as he came in, it seems, at this rate. If they keep feeding him these type of fights. Like, listen, when I say keep feeding him these type of fights, giving him Moicano was not like feeding him to the wolves. I actually think a lot of people thought he was going to win, but now he's on he's on a 2-fight loss streak. They're not giving him any favors. If he loses this, they're going to give him a fight with Mateusz Raunbecki, and then after that, it's going to be Odolbai. So, yeah, very, very tough fight for Benoit St. Denis. I think Joel Alvarez is going to win. I think Joel Alvarez is the dark horse breakout fighter of last year. You know what I mean? Like, he was very under the radar, still is under the radar. That's why he's a dark horse breakout fighter, but he has drastically improved. Like, his striking is looking incredible at this point. So I think he's probably going to finish Benoit St. Denis. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Until next time.